Hi, and welcome back to our series, UTD Under the Hood. My name is Andrew Georgitsis. I am the CEO and co-founder of Unified Team Diving, or UTD Scuba Diving, whichever you guys know it as. Anyways, so far this series, UTD Under the Hood, has been getting a lot of attention, a lot of positive feedback. You guys are firing me a ton of questions. I really appreciate. I appreciate, both the criticism, which I really haven't got, but a lot of positive support. And I appreciate it. If you guys have got questions, please keep them coming. I will keep trying to answer them as much as I can. As you know, so far in the series, we've looked at about 16 or so videos, and those 16 videos cover everything from our background, our roots, a little bit about our philosophy and our ethos and stuff like that. We even looked at the core, the divers such as yourself, and your end goal in mind. And then again, we started jumping into the education side. So we looked at the education, the training paths, support materials, instructional approach, gas management, ratio decal. And if you haven't watched any of those, I encourage you to go back, because that's really going to help you understand how we're going to move forward. And we're going to move into this next subject called foundational. And this is the teaching skills. What are our foundational teaching skills? Now, again, I'm going to use a little whiteboard to illustrate this. I'm going to go ahead and turn off this television, and I'm going to put up a little whiteboard to give us so that you guys can see, and then we can write a few things on this whiteboard. So let's take a look. One of the things is we are looking at the foundational. Okay, teaching skills. Now, where this is important to understand is this is a very common way of teaching. This is what we call foundational. This sort of, let's talk about the open water class. Why is it foundational? Well, you're going to learn to remove and replace the regulator. That's a foundational skill. Okay? That's very different from our next video, which we're going to teach you about our teaching style or skill of critical skill training. This is about foundational skills. So with foundational skills, what we do is we do something very different to other agencies out there. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So over this column here, we're going to put other agency teaching, other agency. And, again, I'm talking about the 800-pound gorilla, as well as some of their, competition and stuff like that. They all have got very similar, what I would call foundational teaching styles. And what I want to show you is, yes, we teach foundational, of course, remove and replace this regulator. But what we do very differently is on how we approach this. And this is what makes UTD. This is why we call this under the hood. This is getting to know us and understand us. So let's take a look at other agencies. So, they might have an online video or an online material. So they might have online materials, and they might have a video that shows, them swimming along and says, one of the fine foundational skills you might learn is to remove and replace your regulator. Okay, great. So, of course, you come along and you jump in, and first thing they do is they put you on your knees. Okay, why is that? Well, because their belief is that you might lose control, you might have a difficult time, they want to get through the skill very quickly, and so what they do is they put a lot of weight on you and stuff you on your knees. Boop! I think that's why they do. I don't really know, because that's not how you dive. We've discussed that already. So why they teach in that manner, only they can answer. And I encourage you to inquire with them. Email the training director, and you'll get some 10-page article about how, you possibly could lose your buoyancy and end up on the surface and killing yourself. Plain not true. But the point is, they put you on your knees. They then have you remove and replace your regulator. I know my handwriting is terrible. I used to get a lot of trouble at school when I went to school in a completely different country, and there they used to beat us for having bad handwriting. Anyways, it didn't work. Obviously, it didn't fix it. So beatings don't work. But never mind. So you're on your knees, you remove and replace your regulator, and the instructor has a checkbox like that, and they go for the pool work. You did it. Then you go to the ocean, and it's exactly the same on your folder or in your logbook or wherever they have this checkbox. The instructor has a slate, and they pull the slate down, and they go, remove and replace your regulator. So you're on your knees, remove and replace your regulator. Boom. Are you certified? Yes. So, of course, you go out and I guess you're now certified, because I guess you've done it on your knees, you moved and replaced, you've shown it and you're done, and that's the end of story. So that's the way other agencies teach. It's kind of very prescriptive and very, I don't even know, just sort of as little as possible checkbox. Okay, let's talk about the UTD approach. Okay, so there, it's still a foundational skill. So we're not going to argue that part. Foundational skill. Again, we will have the online material. So the online material, when you purchase your open water class, you'll see in there's a description of remove and replace the regulator. Now, I'm going to argue that the UTD materials, although are not the most pretty or professional, because we don't have a billion-dollar company supporting us who's able to hire a whole team of graphic artists to produce a PowerPoint that looks gorgeous but has very little content. Ours is the other way around. Ours is, we build it. Jeff and I spend hours and hours and hours and hours doing this. And although they may not be the prettiest or the most graphically beautiful, hey, guess what? The content is what's rich. Why? Because we pay attention to the detail. The actual online material will have the exact steps. In fact, it's the same steps that are in the UTD Student and Diver Procedure Manual. So if you open this up and you go to remove and replace the regulator, right over here under what we call the Basic 6, page 77. Okay, so you open up to page 77 and you flip through it and you go, remove and replace regulator for what we call open circuit. Well, that's fine. And yet remove and replace regulator. So you'll see the PowerPoint follows along. Purge the necklace. Observe trim and buoyancy. So we notice that's something very different. Everything is done in the prone position. So you must have good trim and good buoyancy. Okay, right hand on the long hose near the bolt snap, facing in, palm facing in, bolt snap on the inside of the palm. Wow, that is super descriptive and detailed. So you'll notice the difference. Instead of just remove and replace, we don't really care what, we'll remove and replace in great, great detail. Okay, that's very, very important. And then continuous. Now remember, this is in our online material. Continuous to say, remove primary regulator with mouthpiece facing down. Remove regulator with mouthpiece facing down. Observe trim and buoyancy. Be sure to remove regulator mid-breath and maintain buoyancy. Exhalation or bubbles are not necessary only if to control buoyancy. Wow, what a difference. So where they might have remove and replace regulator, you're on your knees, you're overweighted, don't really care what it looks like, don't really care, just a checkbox, you're done. We have very precise in our online materials to start. Must be in good control and buoyancy, hand position, when to do it during your breath, and to ensure you do not lose any buoyancy. Reinsert primary regulator, exhale to clear or purge, right? So then we have the video, and the video follows exactly along with those same steps. Now here's a big difference in the way we teach foundationally, because now you come to your class, and during your class you have something called a dry run. That is a huge difference, because in the dry run, what you will do is you will stand there with the instructor and they will show you exactly the steps, precisely the way it should be done. And during that, of course, comes up why. Why should I have my palm inside? Why should the bolt snap be hanging down? Why should I only do mid-breath? And all of that is explained. That's the beautiful part of the law of readiness, which we learned about earlier in our educational system. Why do I need to know this? Not just because I say so, I'm the instructor. Quick, 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 chop, chop, chop. Let's get it done. I want to get paid. That's not our philosophy. So in this foundational teaching style, you'll do on your own, online materials and videos. So that's what we call your homework. You will then attend class. And of course, we will review this, but most importantly, you'll jump right into dry runs. Now, once you're done with your dry runs, then you'll get in the pool. And in the pool, you will first learn neutral buoyancy and trim. And that's critical. Won't put you on your knees, won't overweight you, won't give you the wrong information. And this is what sets most people up for failure, is when they are taught to get on their knees, be overweighted, and then perform a skill, because it is the foundation to everything. Do you understand? I'm going to repeat that. It is the foundation to everything. If you don't have foundationally, if you don't have trim and buoyancy and positioning techniques, you cannot move forward. This is why, again, I'm going to repeat myself. Extreme Scuba Makeover, for those that have taken classes and are failing in their scuba diving career. They feel like they just don't have control of buoyancy, they're out of control, they can't do their skills properly, they can't. Take an ESM. It's the same thing we start our open water with. We strip you down, we do an extreme makeover, extreme scuba makeover, and we get you in trim and buoyancy and positioning techniques first. And then we can build these foundational skills. And the foundational skills are then done while neutrally buoyant. And then you do as I said, those 3 steps, so to speak. Hand on the hose, palm facing in, because you don't want to cover the purge, blah, blah, blah. Mouthpiece down. Why mouthpiece down? Because you don't want the bubbles to blow up. I can go on and on, the reasons why, okay. Mid-breath, no bubbles. Why? Because again, you're not going up. You don't have to worry about lung overexpansion. And if you were to feel yourself going up, you simply exhale enough to control your buoyancy. All right? You don't want to go boom and crash in the reef. That's the silliness they're teaching you in the other agencies. Okay? Complete silliness. You need to be able to control your buoyancy even without the regulator out of your mouth. You have to be able to control your buoyancy. So hand up, blah, 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 and so on. And then once you achieve those, then our instructor goes, you're good to go. Now we go to the ocean. And in the ocean, again, we use the building block method. So at the ocean, again, you will cover the dry run. Again, you will go through all these exact same skills. But here's the difference that we do that's really critical, is both in the pool and the ocean, we run video. We film all of those skills from ESM all the way through all of our classes. We film you. And a huge part of what we do is we return. We return to the classroom with the video, and we do a video debrief. You want to talk about really understanding what you are doing? Watch yourself in a mirror. Watch yourself on the video debrief. And the instructor takes the time, invests in you to explain the 3 things you're doing right and the 3 things you're doing wrong, and what you need to improve on for the next session. And what that does is start to instill a core value. See what education is about? It's about changing values, about changing behavior. That's a huge difference from the checkbox. Checkbox approach, doesn't matter. Got it done, move on. We instill through the video debrief this value in you that says, let's take a look at what I'm doing right and wrong and how I can improve for the next session and the next session. And so when you come from the pool back to the open water and you watch the video, your instructor sits there and says, look at that improvement. Look how now you're doing your hand, but you're still forgetting to do the mouthpiece down. Then you come back from your second open water session and say, now you're doing much better job. Look how you opened it and your hand is down and you're holding, blah, blah, blah. So the point is through that video debrief is how we get that information across to you that you're doing right and wrong. And ultimately, this is how you improve those foundational skills. And the foundational skills are critical because you cannot move on to the next level, which we'll talk about in the next level of the next video, of what is critical training. Remember, foundational, and we teach this in our IDCs, we say, look, to be a foundational instructor, Sure, you have to teach all of these skills at a foundational level: remove, replace, regulator, regulator exchange, regulator recovery, mass clearing, blah, 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 and go on and on with the skills. But we teach you this methodology of how to get there using these techniques so that you can create this change in behavior, this idea that I need to train and practice and be. But more important is to develop those foundational skills. And it's a pretty simple way of teaching, isn't it? It's I will give you the information, I may even demonstrate, and the important part is you illustrate. And sure, we've got all these ideas, you can half circle and the instructor on the left and all the stuff that we go through in the IDC and I've talked about before. Those all make the skills safer for you as a student and the instructor to teach. Sure, absolutely. But the idea of the foundational skills is to build your personal skill level so that then when we get ready to actually go on to what we call critical skill training, you then have those skills. You're not thinking about how to air share. You're not thinking about the steps of air sharing. You're not having to practice to maintain your buoyancy to keep air sharing. You're not having... So now we can start what we call our level 2 critical skills. So we consider this to be level 1 foundational skills. And in level 1, to demonstrate, illustrate style scenario. In level 2, we actually start some of the critical skill training. Anyways, this is a little insight onto how UTD functions under the hood and how, our teaching and what we do differently at a foundational level to really get and invest in you guys to get you from point A to B. So your foundational skills, that's buoyancy, trim, your 5 propulsion techniques, your basic 6, which is 6 skills, your air share, your valve drill, your SMB deploy, your ascent, 5-minute descent, we call it drill, and then of course some other little ones like gas switch or running, laying line, retrieving line. That's another one that's in what we call a basic skill in preparation for our next level. So all those foundational skills exist in a variety of courses in our course structure, as we talked about earlier in the videos, at what we call the essentials level, or the open water, the beginning level, ESM, open water, essentials. All of that is the same level. It's those skills given in different classes. So your foundational skill, let's say, of an essentials of tech would mean that you're going to be in a set of doubles, you're going to have a deco bottle, and you're going to learn trim, buoyancy, propulsion, basic 6, valve drill, S drill, SMB deploy, 5-minute ascent, and gas switch. See, that saying is different from essentials of rec, which is single tank, no deco bottle, buoyancy, trim, propulsion, basic 6, S drill, valve drill, S and deploy, and ascent drill. See, we don't do a gas switch because it's not tech, and we don't do it in doubles. Same as in overhead. So essentials of overhead, you wouldn't do a gas switch. You would do the same set of skills, S drill, valve drill, SMB deploy and so forth, and then add laying line and retrieving line. So the instructor's discretion on some of those essential level classes. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this session that we talked about today, this foundational teaching skills. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at info@unifiedteamdiving.com. And as always, gang, safe diving.